All right. Welcome, everybody. We are live. I am your host, Ezra, and this is Jonathan.
And I'm Jonathan, and this is Ezra.
And either way you slice it,
you got loud horse and off.
Woo!
This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. That's right. We are not experts, therapists, financial advisors, relationship gurus, or parenting coaches. We are, however, enthusiastic amateurs with microphones and too much free time. Anything you hear on the show should absolutely not be used to make life decisions. That includes, but is not limited to, money moves, marriage vows, breakups, makeups, child-rearing strategies, or any situation where logic and responsibility are typically required. We are a comical and satirical show, so if you're taking us seriously, you may already be part of the problem. Now that we've legally covered our behinds, let's get into it.
And
God
welcome
bless those beautiful bums.
Those glorious, beautiful, big-ass bombs. Welcome back to Loud Horse and Off. And another busy news week, and we'll cover as best we can with the time that we have. So welcome, folks. How was your week, John?
Fantastic. I'm here. Okay. I'm above ground, so
that's always a good week. Then, good. Yeah, I feel that. I'm here as well. Well, we got a lot of funny things along the way here. Well, let's just go first. Hear some positive words from our
Commander-in-Chief.
Our Commander-in-Chief. Let's do this.
Keeping it real.
He's keeping it real. You know, he's just like you and me, except a billionaire.
Right.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with it.
You know what that's about?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest load you ever seen.
The likes. Israel. I love that expression. The likes of which we've never seen.
Yeah. Hiroshima?
Yeah.
Nagasaki? I don't know. We've seen a couple doozies.
Shock and awe?
Shock and awe. There was a lot of doozies there. Yeah.
There's a lot of explosions there.
He's always so hyperbolic about everything.
I love it, though. I mean, I think he's trolling 90% of the time he's speaking.
Yeah, absolutely. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck.
What? What'd you say?
Uh-oh. I said, you know what's great is like, can you imagine the phone call when he called Netanyahu? If he said that in front of a camera, can you imagine?
Yeah.
When he got on that helicopter?
Yeah, he probably cursed him out.
Get that son of a bitch on the phone right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Netanyahu was like, hey, Don.
Hey, Donnie, how's it going?
What's going on? You know why I'm calling you.
Yeah. You know, I've got fucking cable television, you know.
Why are you so mad?
What's the problem?
You know why I'm pissed.
There was rumors though I saw on Twitter earlier today that they've had that that bombing that we did planned since March.
Oh, really?
Again, it's Twitter. Got to be careful with what you hear, but it's what I heard.
I just think we should believe everything we hear.
Yeah, you got to be careful nowadays.
Believe
That's
it
usually
all.
my first instinct, right? That's my first instinct. When the first shit that is said, I'm like, what? And then, well, hold on. Let me double check that. But
Right.
here, Trump says some good shit right here at the end. I couldn't agree with him more.
Yeah.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand? So long and so hard. Basically, have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Capiche?
Capiche?
But how I love that statement when he said it. I was like, dude, I literally say that all the time. Whenever there's like Israel and Palestine, Israel and Iran, Israel and any other Middle Eastern country, I'm like, it's been fucking 2,000 years, and you assholes haven't figured anything out.
Technically, it's been going on since Moses.
What? Oh, so 4,000, 5,000 years?
Yeah, I mean,
give or take.
Yeah, when they were driving people out of
That doesn't help your case, John. You didn't help. Hold on, Your Honor.
Actually,
it's actually been like 5,000 years. Well, then that's even strengthens the point of like, okay, 5,000 years, and you fucking assholes couldn't figure out some sort of living arrangement. Come on. At that point, it's like, you know what? And especially as an American, I don't give a shit what anybody says. I get to hold the position of, you know what? You're both fucking terrible. And I don't support either one of you.
Yeah.
I think you're both fucking shitty. So how about that?
But here's the thing. Again, like I said last week, I can guarantee you that if you do like a street interview or whatever of like your average citizen of, Gaza or Lebanon, Iran, Israel, the average citizen's like, look, man, I just want to get some freaking food for my family and just go home and eat and just hang out and just, not have bombs all the time. That'd be nice,
Yeah.
But it's the leaders of these countries who are like, well, I mean, Iran looked at us funny, so we're going to have to kill them, all of them.
We have to. I mean, did you see that look?
Did you see the look? Did you see that guy's eyes? I mean, what else are we going to do? Can't just let him do that.
Yeah, okay, then warm up the tanks.
Yeah, let's get everything warmed. Turn on the missiles and everything, and
get the AC rolling.
And then Iran's like, hey, I mean, if they make a move, we're coming back hard and fast. Yeah.
But it's also too, I mean, and okay, so it is the leadership, but then you have, because we suffer from the same shit here in the United States, where
I was going to say it trickles down.
The people are so susceptible to getting brainwashed into they're the bad guys and we're the good guys. So go die for us and go kill them. It's like,
I mean, just as recently as the whole 9/11 thing. I mean, okay, horrible terrorist attack. I mean, I'm not even going to get into the whole conspiracy theory of, what it is. Okay. The consensus was that, it was Afghanistan and then all of a sudden it morphed into Iraq, which was weird, but
that was a bit.
But we were all like, all right, well, all Muslims are terrible, so kill as many as you can.
Yeah.
And that was the general consensus of the people for a good bit, and then all of a sudden people were like, time out.
Yeah, that's been going on for, again, thousands of years of just back and forth. They're bad, we're good, kill them.
Right.
Like, did you see that look?
And it switches. Yeah, it switches. I mean, like right now, Israel seemingly has the upper hand, but in time it'll be Iran or it'll be another country in the Middle East. that somehow gains power or support from somebody else and
Mhm.
is able to just mud stomp everybody in that region, and everybody cries out for justice for them. But it's just what the cycle that's crazy is that they will never stop killing each other ever. I mean, like we've talked about this, like even in this country, you know, that when you breed hatred and in any region of the world, it just keeps itself fed.
Yeah.
Because the next generation wants to get revenge for the previous generation, and on and on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
And it never stops.
Yeah, until one or the other's all gone.
Yeah.
And that's
annihilated. I mean, and that's, you know, I mean, again, like you hear some Middle Eastern people say, you know, annihilate them, like they want them off the face of the earth. It's like, damn, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a crazy statement.
Yeah, it's a bold ass statement.
Yeah.
But they say it so often and frequently and freely.
Yeah.
We can't say anything like that. But they do.
No, I mean, I don't think anybody should say anything like that. That's ridiculous.
From the river to the sea.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, but I don't know, man.
I don't know. Me neither. You know who's gonna help us out though? You know who's gonna help us out?
Who?
We've got a Texas senator,
old T. Cruz,
who might just be able to help us out here.
That's our guy right there.
How many people live in Iran, by the way? I don't know the population at all.
I don't care.
You don't know
Who gives a shit, Tucker?
Who cares, Tucker?
Let me guess, you know.
Yeah.
Tell me, Mr. Bookworm.
Yeah, nerd.
population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay.
Ooh, that didn't go good.
There you go. Yeah, see, fuckface. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to tell me how many.
I knew it was around there. I mean, come on.
Tucker, look. When you just don't understand global politics, okay? When we're going to bomb a country, we don't need to fucking know how many people live there.
Yeah, and also the duffel bag was extremely heavy this time, so who gives a shit? Okay. Hell, I almost had to ask my assistant to help me through the car.
But I didn't.
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's,
because
it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that
because if
relevant?
you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
Oh, boy.
They are Persian.
This son of a bitch.
Look at his face. He's like, you son of a bitch.
Tucker, I thought we were going to get together and tell some jokes and laugh and get along because we're both supposed to be conservative.
You know what? I'm not taking you to the Texas Roadhouse after this. You
that
kiss
fucking
my ass.
dinner date is off.
Yeah.
And no, you won't be sleeping with my wife. No, sir. Not after tonight. Mm-mm. Nope, this was bullshit.
This is horseshit.
Tucker's great.
And predominantly Shia. Okay,
it's not even. You don't know anything about Iran, so
okay, I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who
don't know anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about.
And then he does that shit. Oh, so like if I was ever in a debate with him and we're on opposites, I would want to fucking punch him so bad because he starts. I hate when he does that shit.
Yeah, when he does that high pitch. Yeah. And that, I mean, look at Ted, man. He's getting like he probably wants to punch him.
Uh-huh.
And he's got somebody in his ear going, easy, Ted.
There's cameras rolling.
Lean back in your chair, sir.
We'll get to him. Okay. We'll get to him.
We'll put him on the list. We'll put him in the top 5.
Just settle down. His time's coming, Teddy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, his time's coming.
The country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump. You're the one who can't figure out if it was a good idea to kill General Soleimani, and you said it was bad.
They're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really believe
we're carrying out military strikes today.
You said Israel was.
Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, you're breaking.
So this was before.
Uh-huh.
This was before we led the fucking bombing. He's saying, "Oh no, we're helping. We're not spearheading it. We're helping.
Yeah, we're just helping."
It turns out we did all the bombing.
Listen, Tucker, all we're doing is serving coffee and donuts. All right. I don't know why you're getting all uptight. All right. Shut up and sit down.
You know, Tucker, you're a real selfish son of a bitch.
And me being from Texas, I personally sent over 50 pounds of brisket. Okay.
I want it back.
News here, because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
No, we're not bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we were.
See, that's another. Again, this interview was before the bombing. No, right. Ted, we bombed them. Lying Ted, right? Isn't that what Trump called them?
Yeah,
lying Ted. It's all he fuck. If his lips are moving.
I just got to tell you, if his lips are moving, he's lying.
Oh shit! Look at his boots. He's got nice.
That's what I'm saying. Look at this guy and listen to the accent that he's poured on. I'm from Texas.
Oh, that's right.
My man is from Calgary. Knock it off, Ted.
Calgary, Canada. This guy. Wow.
Although I guess maybe if he's been there since he was a kid, I don't know. Maybe he just adapted to it.
He like caught the twang and
caught the twang and
likes their boots.
Loves them. He's always
boots.
Wearing boots.
I bet those are expensive ass fucking boots he's wearing.
Do you think he wears spurs when he's not on camera? I hope he does. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
So you can just hear him walking down the hallway. Ching, 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 ching,
ching. Sounding like Boba Fett going down the
hallway. People are like, oh shit, here comes Ted.
Fucking here's Ted, man.
We are supporting Israel.
High stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war with Iran right now, people are listening.
I can guarantee you that they are not friends after this interview anymore.
No. Is that it? You son of a kind of highlight reel was that?
Yeah, it wasn't much, but
here we go.
We get massive benefits from Israel. Israel shares the Mossad is one of the best intelligence sources on the planet.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we know, Ted. Thanks.
One of their best agents just disappeared off the face of the earth. Epstein.
The enemies of Israel.
Supposed to be a secret.
Shut up, Ted.
The people who hate Israel, they all hate us. It's almost a perfect overlap. And so if we tried to recreate, if we're just trying to defend America, we tried to recreate the national security benefits of our alliance with Israel, it would cost, I don't know, $30 billion, $300 billion.
So can you elaborate? And again, I'm going into this as someone who's always liked Israel and still does. But I also think at this point, given where we are, it's fair to ask rational questions about what the benefits are.
Good.
So does Mossad share all of its intelligence with us?
Oh, probably not, but they share a lot. Really? We don't share all of our intelligence with them, but we share a lot. It's a close alliance.
Do they spy domestically in the United States?
Oh, they probably do, and we do as well. And friends and allies spy on each other.
Yeah, they probably do, and we definitely spy on the U.S. people as well. If you didn't catch that.
I'm going to tell you again, do they not do any prep whatsoever?
No.
You know?
No.
If Tucker Carlson asked me that question, I would look at the camera and I go, turn the camera off. And I would look at Ted or freaking Tucker Carlson and be like, don't ask me that question. You stupid ass. It's a national security question. Next. Turn the camera back on. Yeah.
And we're back, folks.
Yeah,
Thanks
and
for
we're
checking
back
out that commercial.
And Tucker Carlson's got a black eye. He's got an ice pack.
No, but did you hear Teddy when he was asked if Mossad spies on the U.S. citizens.
Probably. And we spy on them too.
He says we spy on them too.
That's what I mean. Like, you can't say, don't say that.
No. What I'm trying to say is the nuance in it. We spy on them too. He never said, and we spy on their citizens too. The last noun was U.S. citizens. Yeah, and we spy on them too. So, not Israeli citizens. Yeah, not only does Mossad spy on U.S. citizens, we also spy on U.S. citizens.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
That's where I'm getting with that.
Okay.
Each other, and I assume all of our allies.
Huh?
No, I didn't say nothing.
Spy on us.
That's okay with you?
You know what? One of the things about being a conservative is that you're not naive and utopian. You don't think humans are all. Part of the reason socialism doesn't work is the mantra from each according to his abilities to each according to his needs doesn't work. As a conservative, I assume people act in their rational self-interest.
So it's conservative to pay people to spy on you?
It's conservative to recognize that humans.
Tucker, you're really starting to fucking piss me off.
Boy, I tell you what, Tucker. I'm a race car, and you got me in the red.
You are fucking pissing me off, mister.
Already, he looks at his watch. We're 10 minutes in.
Woo.
Beings act in their own self-interest, and every one of our friends spies on us. And I'm not.
Do you like it? That's my question. I'm not asking whether they have motive to do it. Of course they do. I understand that, and by the way, I'm not mad at them. But you're an American lawmaker, so I just want to know. Hold on, I want to know your attitude. Yeah. You said that your guiding principle, in fact, the only principle, the only criterion.
I said guiding, the overwhelming. I wouldn't say only.
Is it in America's interest? Is it in America's interest for Israel to spy on us, including on the president?
It is in America's interest to be closely allied with Israel because we get huge benefits for it. And you want to see the clearest.
But I just want to stop on the spying for a second. That it takes place, as you know, and including on the president of the United States and several precedents. And I just want to know if that's okay and why is it okay? Wouldn't an American lawmaker say to a client state, you're not allowed to spy on us? I'm sorry. I know why you want to. I'm not mad at you, but you're not allowed to.
Sure.
And I don't care for it. I don't want to be spied on by you. It's kind of weird not to say that, but you don't seem able to say that.
What do you want from me, Tucker?
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck do you want from me? I want to know what benefits he's talking about. Oh yeah, there's benefits. There's huge benefits for us.
Well,
are there? Where?
What he's trying to insinuate is like we get the benefit of their intelligence, but that's not true. I mean, if it's something that they can hold back because it has value, they're going to hold it back because it has value, and then they can use it later and say, "Oh, by the way, if you want to know this, we're going to do a quick, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back.
Yeah, send us another $6 billion.
Yeah, and some missiles, and then I'll let you know this piece of information." I love that face. That's a perfect pause right there.
He's
he's just like, Tucker, I'm going to fucking kill you. I really am.
We're done. You and me. We're fucking done.
I would say don't spy on us. They're going to anyway. And by the way, the Brits are, the Canadians are. Like, I don't think.
Well, I'm not for that at all. Okay. I think it's disgusting. But we don't actually pay their. We're not their most meaningful sponsor. We're not.
What drives me crazy is they lie so much about everything. Why? Like, does he not hear what Tucker said? Like, just say what Tucker was saying. No, I'm not okay with them doing that. Yes, we have said, don't do that. But we know in a perfect world, we're not over there. We're not telling their agents, we don't command them. They do. Mm-hmm. Why can't he just say that? To shut Tucker up.
Well,
but I think he didn't say it because he wants to kill Tucker.
So that's one reason he's not going to say, because that 10 minutes ago he decided he was getting rid of
I'm going to kill him, so I'm just going to let this play out. Honey, I'm going to be a little late tonight. things didn't go too well with Tucker. You know what I was talking about earlier. I'm gonna have to do plan B.
Mossad obviously watches these interviews. I'm sure they keep a close eye on the people that they pay off.
Right.
So Ted can't. He honestly can't come out and say that. Yeah, no, I don't like it either. He can't say that because
why not though? I mean, just say it.
Well, because the Israeli government wouldn't like that, and then all of his stipends that keep going to his bank will stop, and so he can't say that.
You know what he should do? He should cross his eyes when he looks at the camera. He should just go, and they'll be like, "Oh, he's Israel." Be like, "Oh, he's just kidding him." Okay,
yeah. See, when he crossed his eyes, it means he's not. He doesn't mean it.
Yeah, he doesn't mean it.
That's like the old crossing your fingers behind your back when you're telling a lie. Yeah.
But you can't go like that on TV. You gotta,
Right. You gotta do it with the eyes.
Mm-hmm. Look at the camera all freaking.
I don't like it either.
Sort of paying for the operations of the British
government.
I
gotta say, and this is it's weird. We're talking about isolationists, the obsession with Israel. Why is Israel?
Oh, I don't think I'm obsessed with Israel.
Okay, but I think a lot of people are. And like the question, Israel spies on us. Well, so does every other country. Why are you mad at Israel?
I guess. Oh, no. I'm hardly the one who's. I've never taken money from the Israel lobby. Have you?
Taken money from the Israel
from AIPAC?
So AIPAC raised.
Hey, Tucker, shut the camera off again. Shut that fucking thing off. Now, Tucker, I'm not going to keep telling you. You're going to get me fucking killed.
Yeah.
This is a lot of money for me, but it's actually a misnomer because the people who raise money are individuals. Right. So it's not the PAC itself, but they're individual members.
I haven't heard him say no yet. To the question, are you receiving money from AIPAC? Hey, look it now.
Oh, no, he says he does. But they're from individual donors.
He gets there? Oh,
yeah, right now. He gets to it right now.
What is believe in the American-Israeli friendship and relationship?
AIPAC a foreign lobby?
No, it's an American lobby. It's the AIPAC stands for the America-Israeli Political Action Committee.
What does it lobby for?
So,
because you see,
this is where Tucker's leading him.
The first word is America, so that must mean it's American.
Yeah,
just like the Federal Reserve must be part of the government because its first word is federal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God!
What a mess!
It's over.
What a mess!
It's over. Everybody, our country's been shanghaied, taken over.
To be honest, not a whole lot effectively. Listen, I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of
broke as hell, and now I got $2,000 boots. Tucker, what the hell are you wearing? What are those
Tucker, I could barely afford my house payment 13 years ago. And well, I tell you what, I'd be damned if I don't have 5 houses that I own outright right now.
All for working with Israel. Son of a bitch. What have you got to say about that?
Being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate.
Right.
And I've worked every day to do that. AIPAC, a lot of times, AIPAC, I wish were much more effective. Like there are folks online who are in the fever swamp of terrified of AIPAC, and AIPAC.
I'm not terrified of AIPAC at all. You're the one who seems a little uncomfortable when I'm asking.
No, not uncomfortable at all.
I'm just asking what AIPAC does. My understanding, having known a lot of people who work at AIPAC, is that it lobbies on behalf of the Israeli government.
Wrong.
Oh, okay.
It's
when was the last time AIPAC took a position that deviated from Prime Minister Netanyahu?
All the time.
Name one.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Let me go back and give a little history. If you want to do a deep dive on AIPAC,
I don't. I want to do a shallow dive that gets. No. I want to get to the core question. AIPAC is lobbying for a foreign government, and I don't. It's not. It's lobbying for the United States.
It is lobbying for a strong U.S.-Israeli relationship.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So it's not has nothing to do with the foreign government.
Wow.
Oh boy. This is when you would see Mike Tyson zero in on, what was that dude? Trevor Burbick, when you just started to see him stumble a little bit, and then Tyson just went in and just mauled him. Like, okay, the Israeli government is not part of the U.S. Again, a disclaimer time here, folks. We are not talking shit about Jewish people at all. It's the fact that we have people buying influence from our government. That's crazy. Crazy.
John, it's for a better America. John.
Oh, okay. I'll just shut up then.
It keeps us safer. Okay.
Okay.
The stronger our relationship is with Israel, the better we are, I guess.
The better.
Yeah. I don't know. It's what we're being told by the old Teddy here.
It's insane that he's like, it's not for a foreign government. I mean, it is for Israel.
Oh no, he is twisted up like a knot right now with the mental gymnastics he's having to do.
Yeah. To
circumvent the fucking questions that Tucker's just simply, is it a foreign lobby or no? No, AIPAC. And the first word in it's America.
America.
So it can't be so we're doing this whole fucking twisting up, lying Ted.
Old Ted Cruz.
It wants America and Israel to be closely allied.
Okay, but it's lobbying on behalf of the interests of another country.
So that's not true at all. And if
it's not true.
No. And
how much contact do you think AIPAC leaders have with the government of Israel?
No idea. I imagine some. I think the government of Israel is often frustrated with AIPAC because AIPAC's not nearly strong enough.
Do you think there's any coordination between the government of Israel and AIPAC?
Do they talk? Sure. If you're lobbying for more U.S.-Mexico trade, would you talk to people in the U.S. and Mexico and the government? Sure. Like if.
So I'm not mad about that. There are a million countries that lobby Washington. I like a lot of those countries, including Israel.
But AIPAC are Americans. They're not Israelis.
Hold on. There are tons of Americans who lobby on behalf of foreign governments. I know them. I'm related to some of them. I know how it works. I'm from here. So my question is not, is it outrageous that foreign governments lobby the United States? They all do, okay, including Israel. My only question is, why don't we admit that is what's happening? You're denying it, but it's true.
Yeah, and why aren't you're saying is false.
Why aren't they registered as a foreign lobby?
Because they're not.
They're not a foreign lobby.
No, they're not. And this is that there's a fever swamp. Look,
it's not a fever swamp. These are very reasonable questions. And you've accused me of being obsessed with Israel, which I'm not.
I actually haven't. I've said
isolationist. And being feverish about it, which I'm not at all. I find it's a very tender spot when you ask it. And I don't know why. It's hardly breaking news.
It gets heated in like the next 5 minutes. It gets like
you ain't
super
fucking
heated.
Wrong. You ask a lot of questions until you bring up Israel, and all of a sudden the people get bent out of fucking shape.
Yeah.
You're an anti-Semite. It's initially they get really defensive. You start asking questions about Israel. Why are you so obsessed with Israel? Like I'm not. I was just asking one question about them. How does that make me fucking obsessed?
Well, and you know, to be honest, I mean, Israel hasn't been in the news up until recently. I mean, before recently, nobody brought up Israel.
And they liked it that way.
6 months ago, right?
Yeah, since I don't know what, the JFK files, the Epstein files.
Yeah, Epstein files.
Yeah. 9/11, somebody might be bringing them up in 9/11 shit.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just all, you know, unless you have like the concrete freaking.
Yeah, they just owned the buildings, you know, and cashed in the insurance from the terrorists.
Oh, really?
But that's you know, just because the guy's Jewish doesn't mean he had anything to do with.
I was going to say, I mean, so what? He's a Jewish guy who owns 2 buildings in New York City.
Nothing to see here, folks. Let's continue this interview before somebody kicks down my front door.
So, Tucker, all right, let's go back. I was first elected to the Senate in 2012. I came in Obama's second term. And I actually saw AIPAC be badly wounded in a way they never came back from. And the second term is when Obama did the Iran nuclear deal. And the Iran nuclear deal, I think, was catastrophic. And AIPAC went all in lobbying against it.
Yeah.
And They failed. And I was the leading opponent of the Iran nuclear.
Oh, I know. They definitely failed. Yes.
They failed. And what happened, the Obama.
that was a fucking jab at Ted. Yeah. Why would Ted say that? So AIPAC lobbied really hard against the Iran nuclear deal. And I spearheaded it.
Yeah.
And we lost. And it's like,
failed.
You sure fucking did.
Oh, yeah. You guys, it was terrible.
Whoever spearheaded that must have been a fucking retard. Hey.
The White House told every Democrat, when I got here, there used to be real bipartisan support for Israel. That has largely disappeared. And it's the Obama nuclear deal that caused it, because the Obama...
Careful, Teddy.
Yeah.
Because after this, we're going to the next guy who's on the other side of the aisle who would make your statement very false, sir.
Oh, yeah.
White House told every Democrat, pick. You either stand with Israel or you're a Democrat and you stand with the Obama White House. And almost every single Democrat member of Congress said, I'm a Democrat first, to hell with Israel. And then I watched as AIPAC, every one of those Democrats got reelected and AIPAC did nothing about it. And it dramatically reduced AIPAC's influence.
I agree. I watched it happen.
And by the way, I told AIPAC, I said, look, the analogy, if the NRA was supporting a bunch of politicians and cared about the Second Amendment, and you had politicians that vote to confiscate people's guns, and the NRA turned around and raised money for the people who voted to confiscate guns, you know what? No one would ever care what they said again.
So you're making the case that AIPAC is not as powerful as people say it is, and I completely agree with you. I've watched that, and I'm not making the case that AIPAC is all powerful and they're running everything and putting fluoride in the water. I'm not making that case at all, because that's not true. I'm only trying to get to the question of what AIPAC is, and I don't think you're being.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not, actually. It's not. That's one thing we could scratch Israel's name off the list. They're not putting the fluoride in our water.
No, they're not.
No, that's somebody else. Ooh.
Straightforward about it. AIPAC is lobbying on behalf of the interests of a foreign country, and they're not registered. And you're saying, no, that's not true. You're saying that they don't coordinate with the Israeli government.
Of course, I coordinate. They talk with them. I don't know what they do. I can
but
tell
why don't you care? Isn't it meaningful if a foreign government...
Hey, I talk with Israel all the time.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
Countries all the time.
But the law is, and a lot of people have been prosecuted under this law, that if you are lobbying on behalf of foreign government, you must register. That's it. It's really simple. And I don't know why, if I'm working for Malaysia or Qatar or Belgium, and I'm working on behalf of its government's interests through a group of Americans who are representing the friendship between those two nations, I have to register under the Foreign Agent Registration Act. And if I don't, I can go to jail. And people have gone to jail, including people I know.
Okay.
So I don't understand why we don't just be honest and say they're lobbying on behalf of a foreign government. They're coordinating with the government. You know that that's true.
That is not only not true, that is false.
They're not coordinating.
Oh.
That was witty.
Yeah.
That's not only not true, it's false.
It's false, Tucker.
Oh my God. Did he take that out of W's fucking little Bush-isms?
You know what? I think Ted Cruz watched Matlock. The volume was down, but he got the gist.
You know what, Tucker? That's only not true.
But it's
also false. Like, what was the other synonym you were thinking after you said that it's not true?
Yeah.
Ooh.
The Israeli government?
Do you know how AIPAC raises money?
What?
For elected officials, like what they do, like what the actual mechanics is?
Bake sales.
Traffic children. Oh, bake sales. That's a good one.
Bake sales.
Girl Scout cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Little fundraisers.
Yeah.
Is that what all those guys are doing on the side of the highways when I get off the highway on the off ramp?
Yes.
And they're sitting there with the cardboard signs? That's AIPAC. That's how they.
That's AIPAC.
Oh, man.
Help us
Yeah,
out.
I mean, they go to people who
are American taxpayers. That's how AIPAC is able to pay politicians, is with fucking American taxpayer money.
American tax dollars.
Yeah, that'd be my guess. That's honestly my guess. And USAID and any of those other kind of programs where we're always just sending billions of money off to other countries. That's probably how AIPAC gets their money.
I have a serious question. Do you think that Ted Cruz took a swing at Tucker Carlson after this interview.
Not only did he take a swing at him, he punched him in the stomach.
Yeah.
He just just one time, just knocked the wind out of Tucker. There you go.
Did he do like Bruce Willis in that one movie where he head or gut? And Tucker was like, "What?" And he boom right in the gut.
Right.
I wasn't expecting that.
That's right. I wasn't expecting that fucking interview either. What you get, you fucker?
Yeah, it doesn't call him Tucker anymore.
Yeah, he's fucker.
Yeah.
Sympathetic to Israel and raise money and then send it to candidates who agree with them.
So what they'll do is, in my last election, AIPAC endorsed me. And they'll host a fundraiser. They'll host a fundraiser in Dallas or Houston or Atlanta or New York or
in the United States. You see? Yeah, we're going to don't do the fundraiser in Israel. Do it in the United States.
Yep.
Where these dummies fucking spend money. You're not going to walk out of a fucking benefit in Israel with very much money.
No.
Yeah.
And they'll do a fundraiser and they'll get
only. I know what you guys are thinking. Only because there's less people there. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
I know what you guys were thinking.
There's bigger numbers in these cities.
Don't be like that. All right. I know what you guys were thinking. There's more Americans, okay? Like Israel's the size of what? Rhode Island?
No, they said Israel's the size of New Jersey. Yeah, New Jersey.
Yeah. So, would you rather do a fundraiser in New Jersey or Texas?
Texas, baby.
See, that's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to say Jews are cheap.
Florida.
Too many Jews in Florida. Oh, see, you did it again.
But they spend money, though.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, man.
Miami's pretty expensive.
Okay, thank you.
Miami's pretty expensive.
See, that's part of, like, I don't know where the stereotype gets like that heavy, like, the Jewish people spend money, man.
Yeah. That's a good little road to go down one day. Find out where that whole thing came from.
Yeah.
Where did they come off? It's probably in the Bible.
But you know what, though? They buy property and they do like investment spending rather than just frivolous spending.
In America, we say cheap. But what they see it is smart.
Smart.
No, honey, I know he said cheap. But what he really meant was smart.
Well, I mean, they'll buy a property that's of high value, and then over time it appreciates and it's worth more. Yeah.
Yes, sit on it.
And then if you know the financial system, if your property is worth a lot of money, you can borrow money against it. You can just a lot of things. It opens up a lot of doors.
Yeah.
Smart.
Not cheap.
Not cheap.
Someone who will host it, and it's usually a business owner, lawyer, doctor, someone who hosts it. And you get typically at an AIPAC fundraiser,
Did he just stereotype
30, 40, 50, maybe 100 people who live in that city.
Right.
Some lawyer, doctor, movie executive, banker, bagel shop owner. All right, that's enough, Ted.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. This guy.
Care about a strong U.S.-Israel relationship, and if they have 50 people, each of them writes $1,000 check, and you raise $50,000.
Yeah, I've been to an AIPAC fundraiser. I know what it looks like.
But that is not. And by the way, there's no representative of the Israeli government there. You have when you're in Dallas, you're meeting with
false and silly conversation. I know all this. The question is are AIPAC's goals shaped by the goals of the Israeli government to any extent?
Okay, that's a really simple from question. Lobbying on behalf of.
It's a simple question.
Wow,
are AIPAC's goals shaped by the?
No, they sound kind of similar. Like to me, I would think both questions go hand in hand. But Ted, it's all wrapped up. Again, he is all knotted up in a pretzel from the mental gymnastics he's done. Now he doesn't know what the fuck is what in this conversation anymore.
He sure does not.
goals of the Israeli government? And I'm just going to ask you that question straightforwardly. And if you say no, I think we both know that's not true.
Hey, are they shaped by?
Are they coordinating with the Israeli government?
Are they talking with them? Yes.
The
Is
Israeli
Israel
government
directing them? You want to talk about FARA, the law on lobbying on behalf of someone?
Yeah.
It is, I hire you and you lobby on behalf of me. I direct you. Does Israel direct AIPAC? No, they're not lobbying on behalf of them.
No. They direct your ass.
Exactly.
Okay? That's what I think what Tucker's trying to get at, and you just almost told on yourself.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
No, see, Tucker, what they do is, all right, they fucking pay me, and then when they want me to vote a certain way, like give them more money for bombs, I got to do it. There, okay?
Period. You happy now?
I'm good with the goddamn customer.
I'm good with the votes.
Fuck, he's getting fucking.
Look at his face.
Again, so look at that. Yes, look at his face. He is right now, again, in the middle of a body twirl flip in his gymnastic routine.
Yeah.
He doesn't know. He's using a lot of hand gestures to misdirection. Don't worry about what the money goes or who gets the boss around. We all know in politics, it's anything like a job in corporate America. Hey, are they giving you money? Okay, they're not giving you money because they believe in your policies. They're giving you money because you're going to do what we fucking tell you because we pay you. Period. Oh my God.
Period.
Do they care about them? Yes, but
do you think that it's just interesting because what you're now describing in a very defensive way, I will say, is foreign influence over our politics?
No.
Woo.
Woo.
Yeah, baby.
Oh. Yeah, he twisted him up all good.
Yeah.
He twisted his ass up.
But, I mean, that interview would go the same if you got like Lindsey Graham, who does anything that the military industrial complex tells him. So if you ask him in detail, hey, does Lockheed Martin pay you? Well, yeah, but I mean, all I do is just listen to them, and maybe influence a few votes here and there.
Yeah, maybe go to their offices and give a speech, but that's about it.
That's about it. That's all.
Yeah, he had them all, but the difference is Lindsey Graham won't sit down with Tucker. No. Lindsey knows he's hated.
Oh, he knows it. Yeah.
I think Ted thought, oh, well, this is going to be fun. We'll talk about how much we love Trump and everything's going to be great.
What was funny was, I think Tucker, he sucker punched him in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I watched the very beginning, like the intro, Ted's like, hey, how you doing? And, we're friends kind of. And then all of a sudden.
How's Catherine doing? Everything all right?
How's your wife and kids and all this stuff?
How's that mangy mud of yours? Is that everything all right?
And then Tucker just came with the haymaker right on the temple, and Ted was like, "You son of a bitch!"
He hit him with the old changeup.
It's on now.
Yeah, I think he definitely probably physically assaulted him on the way out.
Man,
or verbally accosted him. Something ugly.
I will say this. I will bet you this happened. I'll bet you that when they stood up to shake hands to say goodbye, Ted Cruz did not shake his hand. He put his finger in his chest and told him, if I see you out in these streets,
you already know what time it is.
You know what time it is.
There's going to be some furniture moving.
We're going to go out to the nearest parking lot and we're going to have it out.
But all these, it's just, and I know Tucker, he did a good job shedding light on some things. And if any of our politicians, our feet are held to the fire and they're questioned about who pays them, who gives them the donations.
Yeah.
Again, I've said it before in the past, before we had a podcast, but when when politicians run for office, I think they should wear NASCAR jackets. And that way we know who all the patches, you got a Pfizer patch and you got a fucking Wall Street company patch or whatever stock company. So that at least we know which way you're going to vote when it comes voting time for, I don't know, a pharmaceutical company is going to be held accountable. You're going to vote no.
And if you're with Schwab, then you wear like a white jacket with the bull and it says Charles Schwab on the back. Like that's your big donor.
Okay. So the big donors get the big patches.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the little donors get little patches.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got more people who take donations.
Oh, Bernie.
From special interests. Here's Joe, I thought this was gonna be just a fun conversation. Now it looks like I'm riding a motorcycle. Like I'm really asshole.
Yeah. I'm riding a motorcycle in your office. And my hair is doing God knows what.
His head's so shiny that, again, it gives me that effect of, is it fucking hot in here?
Uh-huh. Joe, did you turn on the heater? Just right on me.
Fuck. All right, let's see Bernie do some mental gymnastics. This is fun.
But again, though, even this one, like Joe, Bernie was slow walking into this interview, and 15 minutes in, it was like, uh-oh.
I knew I shouldn't have come here. I knew it.
They spent a lot of money on Harris as
well. They spent $1.5 billion just
combined
over the course of a couple of months.
You got it. All right, let me talk about it. So I'm not here just to say it's a Republican. That's my point here.
Right.
So Bernie Sanders, old windbag socialist Bernie's billion, the destruction.
Show the clips, Ruben.
Trump.
You have now
a good job.
What it says is you're a billionaire. You have now the constitutional right, because your money is your freedom of expression, right? So you don't like Bernie Sanders, you can put millions or hundreds of millions of dollars into a campaign and express your view about how terrible Bernie Sanders is,
right?
And you can buy that election, right? That's your constitutional right. I think that's probably the worst decision that the Supreme Court has ever made. So what is the result of that decision? The result of that decision, let's take us to where we are today, is that Elon Musk, and I know Elon was on your show, and he's here in Austin, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And we could talk
about
it.
You see that look at Joe Rogan's face?
He's like, yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually have him on speakerphone right now.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he's coming over later on for dinner.
Yeah.
$70 million to elect Trump as president. Okay.
Oh,
he spent $270 million to elect Trump as president. Okay. I think that's absurd that any one person.
What's the most someone donated towards the Harris campaign?
They spent a lot of money on Harris as well.
They spent $1.5 billion just
combined
over the course of a couple of months.
You got it. All right, let me talk about it. So I'm not here just to say it's a Republican.
Yeah, I'm weaving right now, Joe. I'm weaving. Mm-hmm. Okay, let the old
man.
Let
me talk.
Okay, God.
That's my point here.
Right.
Okay.
Except my point here actually was that I was going to just talk about what was it's like all of those things.
Everybody does Bernie
about up level.
Are you going to show the clip, Ruben, or are you just going to talk?
And they were suing.
They did the answers that she had to make it look more precise.
60 Minutes. They were suing 60 Minutes.
Yes,
is to my mind historically, even around for a very long time. They're not infallible, but I think you look at most objective people will say 60 Minutes has a sterling reputation for investigative journalism. Are they wrong?
But that's not investigative journalism if you change someone's answers. If you ask her a question and she comes with a rambling answer that doesn't make sense, and you edit that out and insert another answer to a different question that seems more cogent.
Right, Joe, you're walking down.
Joe, I don't want to hear your shit and correcting me, all right?
Joe, I have to say, you're talking like a guy who's never had infrared dots pointed at his head and chest. Okay, it sounds like you've never had to watch on live close caption television your family tied up in a basement with Bill Clinton hovering over them while you give a commencement speech for Hillary. That's what you sound like. And if you're not careful, you're going to go down a very dangerous road.
And you're going to get those damn red dots put on me again.
So just shut the fuck up and let me talk.
Billy, you're walking down a dangerous path. Suing media has the impact of intimidating media. All right, if somebody sues you.
Yeah, the last guy who actually threatened the media got his head blown off in Texas. He was riding in the back of a convertible. You remember what I'm talking about, right?
You know who I'm talking about.
All right, let me finish. All right.
Okay.
Somebody sues you. You know, why not?
He says, okay. Hey, you got the rope. You just hang it. Go ahead, keep hanging yourself.
Keep going.
Woo.
You could be sued tomorrow, right? Because you are doing this. You're too sympathetic to this.
Right.
And Joe, you did that. And they have a big law firm behind you. You're going to have to spend zillions of dollars defending yourself. You know what? Next time you do an interview, you say, maybe I'm not going to go in that area. Right?
No, but it's not that. It's editing things to make this deceptive editing.
Yeah.
Joe.
So in deceptive editing,
I don't know
give
when
people.
No, I was just going to say, yeah. I mean, he's completely, again, just ignoring what Joe was saying. He's saying that they edited it to look like something else.
Right. Because she was having an incoherent conversation for 60 fucking minutes.
Yeah, with who knows who. I mean, she wasn't even talking to the interview lady.
Yeah, and so then they had to like mix and match. Wait, no, this answer she gave later would fit here better.
Yeah.
Because the first answer she gave us was sounded like a fucking rambling idiot. So we'll just cut that one out, put this answer there. That's what I know he's trying to say. And you know what? And Bernie knows that's what he's trying to say.
Right.
And fucking Bernie's a fucking spinster. So he's been doing mental gymnastics for a long time.
For a long time. That's how I stayed here in this seat.
Yeah, that's right. And he defends all the right donors. He defends them.
Yep.
All right, let's continue.
All right.
Different perception of who this candidate is than reality.
Right, but you got to explain.
But that's not objective journalism.
I know, but
that's campaigning for that person.
Right, but
would you agree with that?
I don't have those details. I don't know that I agree with your analysis. I don't know enough.
I think that's universally accepted that that's what they did.
Then you got to tell me why he is suing ABC. Why?
For doing the thing.
Yeah, I mean, dude, come on, man.
I don't know nothing about that.
Listen, you know what I'm doing, Joe. I'm just trying to keep the red dots off me and my family. All right. So for Christ's sakes, stop busting my balls over here. All right.
He's suing.
Well,
Meta.
let's just talk about the 60 Minutes one
but
first.
No, but it's not just.
We could go to ABC, but I'm not aware of that one.
Well,
either.
George Stephanopoulos said something that he didn't like. But the point is,
what did Stephanopoulos say?
I can't remember. It was I honestly don't remember. But
I think what he was saying was factually.
Yeah, no, I'm getting old, Joe. You know, in my old age, I can't remember lots of things.
Yeah.
Correct about the results of one of Trump's trials.
All right. Guess what? If I were to sue everybody who said things that were factually incorrect about me, I'd be suing people zillions of times.
My concern is when you have media organizations that are purported to be objective, and then they say things that are defamatory and factually incorrect, and they should know that before they say it. What other course does a person have other than a lawsuit? And isn't it important that you shine the light on what is a political bias
then we're
from an organization that you would hope would be objective?
Well, maybe they should be in.
Joe, the fuck would you just please? The dots. Did I not say it enough times with the dots?
I think I said it 10 times already. The dots, Joe. Okay, the dots.
Oh my god! And he didn't stop making a fucking.
Well,
he didn't
you know
stop
what though?
making an ass out of himself there.
No, but here's the thing, real quick, before you go back to it, is again, look at the pattern between and this is what this is a little serious. It's serious. Everybody take a knee. Come on, gather around.
Everybody take a knee.
Okay, did you watch Ted Cruz spin? He will not address what the actual question was. And just like Bernie Sanders, he will not just say, okay, yeah, I see your point, where they doctored the interview to manipulate.
Right.
That's why people don't believe these people. And that's why these people are on the same team. They're on the same team. They do the same bidding for the same people all year round, 365 days a year. They don't care. It's not an American citizen thing. It's not a state thing. It's not a county thing. They don't care. It's about them and their payments and their little circle that they just get to keep going.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yep. Yeah. Their lifestyle that they get to live.
And that's, security. I mean, we can say that we did this on purpose because we're that good at doing our podcast, but just look at the comparison between Ted Cruz and Bernie Sanders. They're doing the same exact thing. They refuse to answer the question.
Yep.
They're just getting different donors. That's all.
And again, that's who, right? That's who they're protecting are, again, their donors.
Mm-hmm.
They're bosses, essentially.
They're bosses,
we're not their bosses. I know on paper it says that they serve us, but they don't. And they haven't for a long ass time. Before we were born, they weren't. And it's just getting worse where they care less and less about us and more for their bosses. And
their bosses. And again, like I said, their circle. And what I mean by their circle is their family, their kids. Mm-hmm. They make sure their kids go to Yale, Harvard, and all the Ivy Leagues, and they get into the special circles of whatever. They go to investment houses. They go to BlackRock, whatever. The pedigree stays the same.
Absolutely.
So
let's get into more of this.
Oh, Jimmy Dore.
So Bernie Sanders went on Joe Rogan's, and I'm going to have more to say about this because I didn't get to see the whole thing. I've only watched the first half so far. And, let's just get right to it. They're talking about climate change.
But, the other thing that I would do, and, you got to deal with this climate change issue. And I know that, there are some people who think climate change is a hoax. It ain't a hoax. I think the last 10 years have been the warmest on record. And we can create millions of good-paying jobs, transforming our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency.
So first of all, he's 100% wrong about that. The last 10 years have not been the hottest on record. It's when you decide to start keeping the records. So yeah, if you go back in the records, a wink of an eye if you go back 5 minutes, yeah, because that's what they do. When did they start keeping these records? The Earth has been around for 4 billion years, right? When did they start keeping these records? Joe Rogan actually pushes back on Bernie on this, right? So you always hear that. Here's Joe. Good tip of the hat for Joe.
I think the climate change issue is very complicated. And I think, did you see the Washington Post piece that they wrote where they did this long-term view? First of all, the reality is that the Earth's temperature has never been static, right? We could both agree on that. It's always been up and down. There's been ice ages and heat waves.
Yeah, and for most of the planet's history, it's been way hotter than it is right now. Mm-hmm. So this idea that the last 10 years are the hottest on record, it's just when they started keeping records. It's not the history of the of the planet. It's been way hotter most of our planet's history. Did you know that? So that whole thing of the last 10 years are the hottest on record, that's just the records that humans decided to start keeping. That plays into their climate change agenda.
Yeah.
But if you go back to ice cores and you look at, Joe's going to say.
And then the Washington Post looked at it. What was the time period that they looked at? That essentially they found that we're in a cooling period.
So the Washington Post,
look at that look on Joe's face too. He's like,
yeah.
What do we got to say now?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that article? Huh?
Yeah.
It's actually cooling off. How about that? And
yeah.
Here comes the spinster. Here he comes.
was the scientist. The Washington Post did a story saying that they went back over the last 485 million years, which again is a short period of time but we're in a cooling phase. It's been way hotter over the last 500 million years on Earth on average than it is right now.
Yeah.
And he's going to talk about that.
That the Earth over the past X amount of years, and this was like a very inconvenient discovery, but they had to report the data, and kudos to them for doing that. Scientists have captured the Earth's climate change over the last 485 million years. Here's the surprising place we stand now. So look at the far end of that graph, and you see we're in a cooling period.
Well, I'm not sure. I didn't read that article, but
yeah.
The fucking chart's right there, asshole.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I'm no scientist, but the graph's right there, Bernie.
Well, Joe, I don't know how to read graphs that are the opposite.
I don't know. I'm not much of a scientist.
I don't know how to read graphs that disagree with my opinion. They just kind of are jumbled to me.
What are those squiggly lines? I don't know.
I didn't read that article. You mean the one article written in the Washington Post?
Yeah, that too. I didn't read the article.
Right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean the one that was. I mean, doesn't Bezos still own the Washington Post?
Probably.
I mean, super liberal guy. I mean, you don't read the Washington Post?
Not when it contradicts what he wants to say.
That was a reprint from, I think, Science Magazine. The one article that actually debunks all the stuff that you've been saying, you didn't have time to read it. It only takes 5 minutes. That one article, the most informative, the biggest study that the scientists have ever done, you didn't have time to read it. It takes 5 minutes. Of course you didn't, because it goes against your narrative. Of course you didn't read it. Here we go.
The scientists who are out there, I think.
I know, but there's a lot of money involved in that too, Bernie. That's part of the problem. There's a lot of money involved in this whole climate change emergency issue, and there's a lot of control, and that's a big part of this problem. Not only that
if you have a counter narrative to the climate change establishment agenda, you get defunded. Just like look what they did to people who were telling the truth about COVID. Look what they did to those doctors. Those doctors got disbarred. They got kicked off. They got their.
Jimmy's always trying to get our fucking podcast demonetized.
I know, man. Come on, Jimmy.
We got to stop playing so much Jimmy Dore.
Yeah.
Credentials taken away. Look what happened to Dr. Pierre Corey. Look what happened to Mary Talley. Look what happened to virologists. Who do we have on Dr. Malone? Look what they did to all those people. They smeared them, slandered them. People got kicked. They passed laws in California making doctors not prescribe certain medicines because that's how controlled they are. So that's what he's talking about. A lot of money. And so just like they have the control of doctors, they have the control of climate scientists. Who funds them?
Well, it's interesting, all the demands that they put on people. And like gardeners, what are they doing here in the state of California to gardeners?
Yeah. They're not banning private jet travel. They're banning gas-powered leaf blowers. And who does that help? Well, that helps the big companies because they have money to replace all their stuff. And it's the small companies that get squeezed out.
Yep.
So so there's a lot of money in climate change. That movie, Michael Moore's movie, the last one that he produced about the climate change, it talked about all the money that's involved in it.
If we're just talking about primarily carbon and carbon footprint, what are we going to do about China? Because China is like, what percentage of
they are the major polluter right now in terms of carbon. We're number 2. We used to be 1. They're number 1 right now.
I think they have an enormous percent of the global. I think it's
they're number 1. I don't know what
very high. It's very high.
It's not an American issue. It is.
I don't want to know the percentage. Okay, I don't. I look at it. Don't say yeah. I'm not gonna hear the percentage. I don't want to fucking hear it.
I don't care, Joe.
Don't give a shit. I don't know. Obviously, somebody takes money from China.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. So, he's taking money from China. Isn't it like, don't we contribute like 2% of the problem? Like, it's mainly China and India, right?
It's China and India. Yeah. I don't know why I don't know if I didn't see the whole interview with these two, but I'm surprised that, because Bernie said, I thought, like, well, we were number one, now we're number two. I don't believe that we're number two even, Bernie. I think we're like way down the list.
I was going to say maybe second from the last.
Right. We're down. We are down that list. We don't make shit here.
Yeah, we don't.
There's no manufacturing happening here. But again, to push whatever fucking climate change agenda he's got going, he's got to say, yeah, we were number one, now we're number two to China. India fucking manufactures way more shit than we do. So don't give me that shit.
I'm looking this up.
You know what Google's going to tell you, right?
That Bernie Sanders is right.
No, Google's going to tell you none of your fucking business.
Yeah, go to bed.
Go to bed. Go to fucking bed. Google says none of your business. You're number two. You're the worst polluter on the planet, America. All those damn muscle cars and SUVs you guys got to drive around.
It says we do rank number two.
Yeah, bullshit.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either, because just a couple years ago, again, I thought we were like 14th, 15th. Just a couple years ago, all of a sudden, we're manufacturing shit now, polluting. It's all a bunch of bullshit. It's all fucking lies.
Yeah,
filthy, dirty lies.
I don't believe that's right.
Who's the source?
The source is Google. AI overview.
Yeah, Google.
Yeah, careful.
Google's paid to say that.
Yeah, I think so.
Second.
Well, the number one organization, yes, China, again, releasing most of the CO, but the U.S. military, right? And when are they going to say, let's close down our 900 military bases? There's no organization that emits more carbon than the U.S. military. Okay.
A global issue. And all I can tell you is that we are, in my view, going to see more extreme weather disturbances in the coming years than we have ever. And we're seeing them right now.
Right, but scientists don't agree. Well, this is where it gets confusing. Because scientists that are in agreement, there's all these entanglements. Whenever someone's discussing something, whether it's economics or whether it's health issues or pharmaceutical drugs, there's financial entanglements. I think we both agree with that, right?
Yep.
And I think this is part of the issue with this whole climate change emergency as well, because it's not just that we could all agree pollution is a major factor. It's a huge issue in the world today. We could all agree with that, right? I think one of the things that we have to recognize is that whenever there's an issue that everyone can agree on, you're going to have a bunch of people that capitalize on that issue, and they look to gain more money. They have financial issues that they push forward in order to capitalize on this issue, but then also power and control. These things like they're trying to institute in the UK, where they have these 15-minute cities, this concept where you're not allowed to travel. They'll be able to look at your carbon footprint. See?
I don't know nothing about that. You're talking about Agenda 2030. Is that what you're saying? I don't know nothing about that Agenda 2030 with the 5-minute cities. I don't know what you're talking about, Joe. Sounding a little bit like Alex Jones to me now.
Joe, I think you might be punch drunk.
Too much jujitsu. Is that it? That's what I think. Maybe one too many hits to the noggin.
You got choked out too many times.
That's the problem. The problem is giving people that are in power, these people that we've all discussed that have so much money and so much control over our societies, multinational corporations, giving them more control over citizens. And this is a vehicle for that. And this is what's dangerous about this whole climate change emergency, because it allows these fucking creeps that have been controlling people and controlling what you do and what you say and how you spend your money with people that already live in check to check, and you put additional constraints on them and you make them even more scared. And then you put additional measures where you can look at their carbon footprint, you can look at the amount they travel, put a carbon tax on these people, let's figure out how to extract more money from them. That's what bothers me about this climate change emergency. Not that we can all agree pollution is a terrible thing. Everyone should agree to that. The beautiful earth that sustains us and all life on this planet is being poisoned as we speak. We're killing all the fish in the ocean and sucking them out in giant numbers. 94% of all the big fish that are in the ocean are gone over the last, whatever it is.
When you go to war against nature, you lose.
Yeah,
because you're part of nature.
Loses. Exactly.
But we're worshiping the almighty dollar above the mother.
You asked me when I ran for president, one of the interests, it's something else to run for president, because you get around, you meet all kinds of people, and you learn all kinds of things. And one of the things that I did, we went to met with a lot of Native Americans. And one of the reasons is, their tradition was going from way back, respect for nature. That they understood way back when, that you kill off all of the buffalo, you ain't gonna have nothing to eat, right?
Right.
They understood that.
Sure.
And you understand that you live in harmony with nature,
Yes.
which is, I think.
I tell you what, let's talk about Native Americans instead of talking about big corporations, okay? Because we might step on some of the toes again that pay me. So
I don't want to talk about China.
Oh,
China.
Let's fucking veer away from China as much as possible right now, Joe. Because did I mention the infrared dots? I live with them constantly.
What you're talking about.
Absolutely.
And if you lose that harmony, I worry about the...
So I don't know if you noticed what happened there. Bernie just pivoted.
Yeah.
He pivoted to respect for nature. Instead of climate change is real, the last 10 years are the hottest. I didn't read that study. I don't know about that.
He dropped that hot
Joe
turd
Rogan
real fast.
Yeah. Well, and he's a spinster, and he's been in fucking politics for a lot longer than I've been alive, probably. And so he's a pro at. Let's talk about something else. Let's look over this way. Hey, Joe, what is
the American Indian people, the American Native Americans are wonderful.
Joe, look at the grouse. Look at the grouse. What is that over there?
He gets up and leaves.
Came at him with actual facts that you're not going to hear on corporate news. And he pushed back on him, and Bernie immediately tried to pivot. And he's pivoting. That's what he's doing. That's what this is called. He didn't push back on Joe Rogan, saying, no, the scientists aren't corrupted. No, the funding of the science is a problem. He didn't push back at him about that article he never even heard of. Really? I know about that article. I covered it. And he doesn't know about it?
Yeah,
I bet he does.
Climate change. Yeah, he does.
And this is him pivoting.
Future of humanity
which is the problem with financial competitiveness. When you put that almighty dollar above all else,
that's right.
Then all you think about, and you're only alive for 100 years, so it's just hit the gas for 100 years, and who gives a shit what happens after I'm gone? I'm going to die with the most toys. Yay, I win in the dirt.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And that is, which takes us to another issue.
Okay.
And Joe, I'm out of here. I got to get going.
Which takes us to another issue. The time. I got to go.
I was told we were ordering lunch. Where's the menus at? The menus around here? Fucking guy.
And that is artificial intelligence. And
okay. And he just picked.
So just AI.
Yeah, he went off road. AI.
He knows what the fuck he's doing. He's been doing this a long ass time, man.
Which your friend Elon Musk is ushering in. Another reason we should, sit him down and talk to him.
Shit. But that's it, man. That's, again, that's another shining example of, and like you said, that's how we do on this show. We'll show you on both sides of the aisle that
both sides, baby.
They're both taking payments that, from donors that control them and control what they vote on and what's their agenda is going to be and what policies are they looking to change and all these other things. And but nothing for us. Hey, can we get a fucking break? Grocery bills have been pretty high and the gas prices have been high. Can we get a little fucking break? The housing market and interest rates, and can we please can we get any? And they're like, no, fuck no.
Yeah, this is all ours.
You know what? You Americans need to stop being so fucking greedy and selfish. Always thinking about yourselves. And
I want a house to live in. Knock it off.
I want to own a house one day.
I want a roof over my head. Shut the up.
You fucking Americans are the most selfish, parasitical fuckers on the face of this fucking earth. So no, you can't have those things.
Do you have any idea how expensive it is to send your kids to Yale and to Harvard? You don't know. So shut up.
Do you?
And get back to work. Pay your taxes.
That's right. Pay your fucking taxes on time. On time.
Mm-hmm.
That's this is where we're at, folks. This is where we're at. And on that black pill, I guess we'll sign off here. We'll call it a night on that one. I'll go to bed. See you next week, kiddos. Sweet dreams on that last note.
Have fun, kids.
Yeah, we're a couple of Debbie Downers here.
Yeah, that's all right. Hey, 4th of July coming up this week.
Yeah, we have 4th of July.
Yeah, man. 4th of July. You know?
There's a lot of videos on TikTok and Twitter of people shitting on the 4th, but you know what we'll do? Because there's probably going to be a lot more next week after the 4th. So next week episode, maybe we can make fun and watch that shit a little bit. And
maybe see some hands get blown off.
Oh, there's always going to be clips of that stuff. Absolutely.
Some 4th of July mishaps. Some bloopers, if you will.
Kabloopers.
Kabloopers. ER visits, you know?
Oh, yeah. People missing digits after 4th of July. Well, all right. Well, y'all have a good weekend. Be safe out there. Be nice.
Be nice. Be kind to everybody. Just remember, those upper echelons, they're not looking for you. They're not looking out for you.
That's right. So
we got to look out for each other. Be nice.
That's right. See y'all. Peace.
See you.